You know, we spend so much time trying to perfect what goes into our dog's bowl. But what if the real secret to their health, their energy, and just their overall happiness is hidden somewhere else entirely? Today, we're going to decode the silent signs our dogs are giving us about this powerful world working inside them.
Think about it. We've all gotten used to certain things, right? A little doggy breath, maybe some occasional paw licking. But what if those super common habits aren't normal at all? What if they're actually signals that something is seriously out of balance on the inside?
So where are these signals coming from? Well, they're coming from a powerful and incredibly complex world inside your dog that you probably don't even think about much. It's often called their second brain, and trust me, it controls way more than just digestion.
What we're talking about here is their gut microbiome. It's this huge community of trillions of tiny organisms living in their GI tract. And this internal ecosystem doesn't just process food, it's literally the command center for their immune system, their mood, and even how well they absorb nutrients. This right here is the true foundation of their health.
Okay, so if this system is so important, what's going wrong? Well, the problem is this huge disconnect between what a dog's body was designed for and what most of them are actually eating today. It turns out our good intentions might actually be contributing to a widespread and kind of silent health crisis. And you can see the core of the issue right here. A dog's ancestors, they thrived on a diet that was just packed with live, natural ingredients. But most modern kibble, it goes through a super high heat process called extrusion. This basically cooks all the life out of it, making the food biologically dead and stripping it of all those live enzymes they desperately need.
Let this number just sink in for a second. 70%. That means the vast majority of your dog's ability to fight off sickness is controlled by the health of their gut. So when that internal ecosystem is struggling, their number one defense system is weakened. It's a really big deal.
And when that gut barrier weakens, it can lead to a condition vets are talking about more and more, leaky gut syndrome. Basically, this is when tiny food particles and toxins actually leak out of the gut and into the bloodstream. This puts their immune system on high alert, causing inflammation all over their body.
And that internal inflammation? It starts to show up on the outside in ways we often just brush off as normal dog stuff. So let's decode the top 5 red flags that your dog's gut might be crying out for help.
All right, first up, that classic doggy breath. We're so quick to blame their teeth, but honestly, chronic bad breath is often a major sign that food isn't being broken down properly. It's literally the smell of food fermenting in their digestive tract. Next, the constant scratching or that obsessive chewing on their paws. This is so much more than just a skin issue or a simple allergy to grass. It's a huge sign of that widespread systemic inflammation we just talked about, all triggered by a leaky gut. The real problem is internal, but the symptom shows up externally.
Now, this one seems pretty obvious, but we dismiss it all the time. Those random bouts of diarrhea, constipation, or really bad gas, they're not just quirks of your dog's personality. No, they are crystal clear signs that the microbiome is struggling and the bad bacteria are starting to win.
Ever wonder why your dog just seems kind of down or maybe more anxious than usual? Get this, a huge chunk of serotonin, that's the feel-good hormone, is actually made in the gut. So a sluggish, inflamed gut leads directly to a sluggish, unhappy pet. Their mood is literally tied to their microbiome.
And finally, their coat. Look, you can add all the expensive fish oil in the world, but if their gut is inflamed, they simply can't absorb the nutrients they need to build a healthy, shiny coat. A poor coat is one of the clearest signs of poor nutrient absorption.
So just take a second here and think about your own dog. As I was going through that list, were you nodding along to 2, 3, maybe even all 5 of those symptoms? If the answer is yes, that's a really strong indicator that their microbiome is out of balance.
But here is the really good news. This is not a permanent condition. Not at all. Once you understand what the problem is, you can take clear, scientific steps to restore that internal balance and help your dog heal from the inside out.
And the solution really comes down to 3 essential pillars. The easiest way to think about it is like you're tending a garden inside them. First, you need prebiotics. That's the fertilizer, the fuel for all the good bacteria. Then you need probiotics. Those are the seeds, the new beneficial bacteria to repopulate the garden. And finally, postbiotics. That's the harvest, the good stuff that gives immediate support and helps repair that leaky gut. Now, your first instinct might be to just grab some yogurt or a human-grade probiotic from the pharmacy. And while your heart is in the right place, that's actually a critical mistake, and there's a very scientific reason why.
Okay, check out the science here. Just look at the pH difference. A dog's stomach is a much more acidic, much harsher environment than ours is. I mean, it's designed to break down raw meat and even bone. The problem is, most probiotics made for people are just completely destroyed by all that acid before they can ever get to the intestines where they need to be.
So, what actually works? Well, the research that we're explaining today points to a pretty clear conclusion. You need a formula designed specifically for that unique, acidic canine digestive system.
The source material highlights one solution, and I'm quoting here because it addresses the hidden causes of itching, odor, and digestive sluggishness directly at the source. It's all about tackling the root cause, not just masking the symptoms.
So why this one? Well, according to the source we're analyzing, it comes down to 4 key things. First, it has multiple probiotic strains that specifically target these symptoms in dogs. Second, it's a liquid, which helps it survive that harsh stomach acid for better absorption. Third, it's actually backed by science for a dog's specific stomach pH. And finally, it comes with a guarantee, so owners can see the results for themselves.
So we'll end on this thought. Our dogs can't use words to tell us that their stomach hurts or that they feel inflamed and just off. They show us. They show us through their breath, their skin, their energy, their coat. The real question is, are we learning to speak their language?